Have you ever decorated a room, stepped back, and thought, why doesn't this look right? It is not ugly, but it's not working either. Chances are, you've made one of the 8 biggest decorating mistakes I see all the time. That is why in this video, I'll break them down so you can save money, avoid regret, and finally create a home that feels right. Not having a plan is a cardinal sin of decorating. It's like going grocery shopping without a list when you're starving. You walk in needing food, but no clue what meals you'll make. So, your impulses take over. You grab some chips, ice cream, maybe some chicken thighs. You spend $25 at checkout, but then you come home and had no ingredients for a single coherent meal. Now, you can't make dinner. The exact same thing happened when you decorate without a plan. You buy a velvet sofa you saw on Instagram, a farmhouse table on clearance, and a bold wallpaper that looked cool. But then you realize, nothing works together. You have a collection of nice things, but you haven't created a cohesive, usable room. Your budget is gone and the room feels chaotic. The fix? It is a simple 5-step plan before you ever touch your wallet. Start with a mood board. Save images of rooms, furniture, even photos from nature. You'll start to see patterns that reveal your style. Then, measure your space and draft a floor plan. Use tools like Magic Plan or Floor Planner to make it easy. Then lay out your anchor pieces first: sofas, dining tables, beds. Then fill in with side tables, lamps, and accents. After that, set a budget and use filters when sourcing. Narrowing by size, material, and color makes it easier to stick to your vision. And finally, save paint for last. There are a million paint colors, but only a handful of sofa fabrics. So it's easier to pick a paint that complements your furniture than the other way around. This one process alone will save you thousands and protect you from the dreaded, expensive but wrong purchase. A plan doesn't kill the fun of decorating. It's about making sure your fun choices actually add up to a room you'll love. And speaking of fun choices, I've been enjoying the Shox OpenDots ONE open-ear clip-on earbuds, who's the kind sponsor of today's video. Instead of sealing off your ears like traditional earbuds, the OpenDots ONE clips on and sits comfortably outside your ear. That means you can enjoy music, podcasts, or calls while still being aware of what's going on around you. They're also super lightweight, only 6.5 grams each, so you barely feel them even after hours of wearing. And yet the sound is full and punchy thanks to their dual driver design and Basssphere technology, plus the added power of Dolby Audio that offers a premium sound experience. I like that I can wear them while moving around and even working out. They stay secure, and I don't feel cut off if someone talks to me. They're just part of the background while I'm doing my thing, and the battery life is great. You get up to 10 hours on a single charge, and up to 40 hours total with the charging case. I got this one in the new pink colorway, but they also come in black and warm gray. So if you're looking for a comfortable open earbud, check out the new Shox OpenDots ONE via the link below and use code Reynard10 for $10 off all colorways. Most people would never buy shoes in the wrong size. You'll never buy a size 11 if you're a size 8, no matter how nice the shoes are. But somehow, when it comes to furniture, all logic goes out the window. You see a sofa on sale or a nice table that you can't resist, buy it, and then realize it doesn't fit in your room. One of the reasons this happens is because scale is deceptive in giant showrooms and warehouses. That sofa that looks medium in a showroom suddenly feels like a tank in your living room. I've been guilty of this myself, and it's a mistake that can make even the nicest piece look totally wrong. That is why I mentioned earlier to start with a floor plan before you even look at furniture. It is a foolproof way to avoid FOMO. Here's what I'll do. Map out your big anchor pieces: sofa, dining table, bed, and where they will go. Fill in the gaps with accents like side tables and lamps. From there, work out exact size ranges. For example, your plan might show that you can fit a sofa between 200 to 230 centimeters in length. If you're still unsure, grab a painter's tape and tape the outline of the furniture directly on your floor so you can walk around it. It is the easiest way to see how it really feels in your space. Once you figure out the size ranges, note them down and use this as your guide when shopping. The numbers don't lie. Even if you fall in love with a piece, if it is 30 centimeters too long, it is a no-go. Instead, ask if it comes in different sizes, or if you can customize them. This tiny bit of homework saves you money, frustration, and years of regret staring at a sofa that swallows your living room. Okay, the third big mistake is playing it way too safe. A lot of people get so worried about messing it up that they default to boring, boxy furniture and endless gray on gray or white on white schemes. But if you never make a different choice, your space is going to be bland. It gets worse when people buy a whole room of matching furniture sets. So please don't. Limit yourself to 2 matching pieces at most, then mix in items from other sources. You can make them cohesive through repeating colors, materials, details like brass or design period. This way, they look good together, but there's still contrast that makes it interesting. The same rule applies to decor. Matching cushions, matching vases, matching everything is a big no. They make your space very one-dimensional. And what makes a space interesting is contrast. Another trap is relying on manufactured materials like MDF, polyester, or plastic. There's nothing wrong with these pieces. I use them myself, but they tend to lack texture. Natural materials, on the other hand, like linen, cotton, stone, and timber, always bring more character because they have texture, and no 2 pieces are ever identical. That variation is what makes a room feel layered and expensive. So the best way to avoid playing it too safe is to shop around. Don't furnish your whole room from one store. It is convenient, but you'll end up with a bland cookie cutter look. Mixing brands and sources forces you to see more options, and that variety naturally creates contrast. And if you want more help pulling everything together, I've put together a free guide called Secrets to a Beautiful Home. It comes with a decorating checklist that will help you spot the little details to make your space feel cohesive and layered. Flow might be invisible, but it's what makes a room feel easy or frustrating to live in. Picture this. Every time you get up from a sofa, you have to turn sideways to squeeze past the coffee table. On the way out, you bump the corner of another piece of furniture. That daily friction adds up, and before long, you're annoyed at your room without even knowing why. The good news is that flow isn't complicated once you know what to look for. Here's how to fix it. Map your pathways. Start from door and map the routes to all the different rooms, basically forming lines door to door. These are your primary pathways. Keep the primary pathways clear. They should be at least 30 to 36 inches wide so you're not zigzagging or bumping into things. Remember to leave room for function. Dining chairs need space to pull out. Recliners need room to extend. Cabinet doors need clearance. Now don't overreact by shoving all your furniture to the walls to make space. That just creates dead zones and turns your room into a doctor's waiting room. Instead, pull furniture in, group it intentionally, and create conversation areas so people aren't shouting across the room. If you want a step-by-step walkthrough of this process, I put together a free room layout guide. Think of it as a shortcut to getting this right without endless trial and error. Now once your layout flows, the next big challenge is making sure the space doesn't just work, it also feels good. And that is where lighting comes in. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I can't talk about decorating mistakes without mentioning lighting. And right now, the biggest mistake I'm seeing is people are relying on endless rows of recessed can lights. It screams builder basic and makes any space look completely flat. What you want to do instead is layer your lighting. Designers break this into 3 categories. Ambient, which is the overall glow of the room. These are your pendants or lamps with shades. Task lighting that helps you do something, like a reading lamp beside a chair or under cabinet strips in the kitchen. Accent, which is the decorative layer. Picture lights, LED strips that highlight an alcove or shelves. If this sounds a bit complicated, an easy way is to think in height levels. Above your head, like pendants, chandeliers or recessed light. At eye level, like wall sconces or tall floor lamps. And below eye level, like table lamps or short floor lamps. Getting a mix of all 3 instantly gives your room depth, warmth, and flexibility. Light temperature is another important consideration. A 4500 Kelvin bulb in the bedroom will give you hospital vibes, so stick to under 3000 Kelvin in spaces meant for relaxing, and up to 4000 Kelvin in kitchens and bathrooms. Anything above that belongs in a garage, not a living room. Lighting can get expensive, but it's one of the highest ROI upgrades you can make in your home. You can have the perfect sofa, flawless layout, every design rule nailed, but if your lighting is not layered or harsh, it ruins the whole atmosphere. So, just like I mentioned in the planning section, don't leave lighting as an afterthought. Put it on your mood board, budget for it early, and treat it as a core part of your design. There are two ways people fall into the trend trap: consciously and unconsciously. Conscious trend following is when you see something all over social media and think, I need that too. There's nothing wrong with being inspired, but you have to stop and ask, do I actually love this? Or am I just scared of missing out? If you're buying because everyone else is, it is the wrong reason. Unconscious trend following is even trickier. Whether you realize it or not, trends shape what is available in stores and what fills your feed. That is why so many homes end up with the same gray-on-gray furniture, the same shiplap walls, or the same live, laugh, love signs. So how do you avoid it? You have to get clear on what you actually like. Collect images of different spaces and write down everything that stands out. Maybe it's a color, a shape, a certain material. Take that list with you when you shop. If an item doesn't match your list, it's probably just noise. This is something I go deep on in Chapter 1 of my Practical Home Design course, using the cozy method. It helps you filter out all the noise and get clear on your own personal style, so every choice feels intentional. Another way to avoid the trend trap is to look at the bones of your home. What is the architecture, the era, the details you already have? Buy pieces that complement that, not fight against it. That way, even if something happens to be trendy, it will feel intentional instead of forced. And remember, this is exactly why you need a plan, because without one, you're more likely to grab the first thing you see, which is usually whatever is trending. Be especially cautious with big-ticket or permanent choices like tiles, countertops, or sofas. These aren't cheap or easy to replace, so test them first. Sit on the sofa, order material samples, look at finishes in different light. Trends will fade, but you're the one who has to live with it every day. And speaking of living with choices, one of the most painful mistakes is keeping something you already regret. This might be one of the biggest decorating mistakes of all, and I've been guilty of it too. There's no reason to live for years with the choice you hate. Whether it is a paint color that never felt right, a sofa that is uncomfortable, or a chair you regret buying. You're reminded of it every single day. It's like walking with a rock in your shoe. Sure, you can ignore it for a while, but deep down, you'll never be comfortable until you stop and take it out. Most people hesitate because of the cost. I spent $1,000 on that sofa. I can't just get rid of it. But that is a sunk cost fallacy at work. The money is already gone. The real decision is whether you want to keep paying every day in frustration just to justify a past purchase. Instead, sell it and put that money towards something that actually works, or donate it so someone else can enjoy it. Either way, you free your home and yourself from the weight of the mistake. Your home should make you feel good, not guilty. The moment you recognize something isn't right, make a plan to change it. Future you will thank you every single day. When people think about decorating, it is always about the looks. But sight is just one of our 5 senses. Smell, sound, and touch, while maybe not so much taste when decorating, are what make us feel comfortable and truly immersed in a space. Think about your favorite places: a cozy coffee shop or bakery, a relaxing spa, a great restaurant, or a boutique hotel. They all go beyond looks. There's always a signature scent in the air. There's always music setting the mood. And they obsess over touch points: the feel of the chairs, the weight of the glassware, the softness of the towels. But when it comes to our homes, most people forget all this because we're too focused on the visuals. So here's how to bring in the sensory details home. Scent. Consider a diffuser, a candle, a room spray, or even just opening your windows for fresh air. Don't forget the basics: taking out the garbage and making sure your kitchen and bathrooms have good exhaust fans. If your home smells bad, it's never going to feel like a nice place to be, and it quietly affects your mood and stress levels. Sound. A simple Bluetooth or Wi-Fi speaker can completely change the mood depending on what music you play. Personally, I love Sonos because you can group them and play music all over the house. But there are plenty of other options. Touch. Pay attention to the textures of the things you touch most: door handles, fixtures, light switches, dinnerware, mugs. These touch points seem tiny, but together they have a big impact on how your home feels. And if you ever wish you could see how all these details come together before you buy anything, I built a tool for that. It's called Room Visualizer AI. You upload a photo of your space, and in seconds, you can see a completely new look styled to your taste. It is like getting a designer's perspective in seconds. It is in beta and invite only for now, but you can join the waitlist via the link below. Design that only looks good is only doing half the job. Bring in the other senses, and that is when the magic happens. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on 9 design tips that will change the way you decorate, and this video on 9 products that instantly organize your home. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.